I will say first about the eating habit in Indonesia. For example, nowadays people will use spoon on the right hand and then fork on the left hand for eating, but there are still some other people, maybe in some area, there are still other people that will eat using hands directly. That's the first habit. And the second one is we are not allowed to make any noises like chewing noises like mwah, 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 like that when we are eating. And then the last one is when we're out together, for example, with 5 other people, and then we are currently waiting for the meal to come, and then one person already got the meal, yet the other haven't got their meal yet. So we have to wait for the others to get their meals. By then we can start together. Otherwise, if we start first, it's considered quite rude.
Okay, thank you.
It's quite obvious the difference is the taste, because in Indonesia all kind of food, all kind of cuisine will have a strong taste. If it is salty, then it will be very salty. Sweet, it's very sweet. And if you want spicy, then you will get like level 10 of spicy and you will cry from eating the spicy food. While in Taiwan, when I first arrived in Taiwan, I always complained to my friends saying that all the food in Taiwan doesn't have any taste. So they will say that I'm a Zhongkou Wei. And I think that's the first phrase, Taiwanese phrase that I learned in Taiwan, because I always complain about food. That's it. Another important and annoying part of Taiwanese food is xiang cai. Because yes, in Indonesia we also use xiang cai for many kind of cuisine, but not all. It's quite different with Taiwanese food, because whenever I go to local Taiwanese restaurant, almost every menu will add xiang cai on the cuisine. So it's like I have to ask them first, do you use xiang cai? If you use xiang cai, then please don't add any xiang cai. And I know that a lot of foreigners say that they don't like eating tofu, stinky tofu, but I love it. I don't know why. Whether you fry it, you make it as a soup, or when you go to night market, they will have the skewer, and then they will add onions on it. I also love it. Basically, I love it. I think you all know that Indonesia is divided by a lot of islands, right? So each island will have different cities, and these different cities will also have different kind of cuisine. For example, there is one food named soto. I think this one is quite famous. People like say, oh, I know soto ayam, like that. But soto in different city has different name and different flavor, different look. So for example, soto Lamongan, the soup color is quite yellowish, and then they will use mostly chicken meat. What different with soto in the other island, Kalimantan, they will use, I don't know, also chicken meat, but the soup is transparent, like really transparent. And then there is another city named Madura, Soto Madura, so they will use beef, not chicken meat. So I think it's quite interesting. And other than soto, people will say nasi goreng, and also nasi goreng is always different everywhere. What else then? I think this one is very famous, gado gado. Gado gado is like a salad, but we use peanut sauce instead of mayonnaise or olive oil, so we use peanut sauce. Basically, we eat vegetables, potato, and lontong. I don't know. Lontong is like a rice cake, or I think it's similar with rice cakes. Taiwan, most of the time people will eat pork meat, but in Indonesia, since we have 5 major religions and one of the biggest is Islam, and that Muslims are not allowed to eat pork. So going to Indonesia, you will find a lot of restaurants with sticker on the maybe door or maybe on the window saying it's halal. It means that they are not selling any pork. And I'm living in Java Island, and in Java Island, people do not. It is not common for people of people to eat dog meat or cat meat. It's very common for them to eat dog meat. They will say it's RW. So if you go to Batak, if you go to Sumatra and you see a restaurant selling RW, it means it's a dog meat. But I think some of the tribes still do hunting. I don't know, but I remember when I was a little girl, my father told me that he used to travel to this other island as well.
I think our interviewee is really nice. She was really willing to tell us more, instead of just answering the question we asked. During the interview, I think we have a good time. It was just like chatting with friends. I am interested in talking with different people in different countries, because I can learn more about their culture in many aspects, and also can I broaden my horizons at the same time. I would like to have more chance to have intercultural communicative experience and make friends with them too.
Yefta's friend was so friendly that we had a great atmosphere to answer our question. Furthermore, she was good at speaking Chinese. As a result, we don't need to worry about the difficulty of conversation. The funny thing was that she seemed to stay in Taiwan for a long time. That is, she had to memorize how was the flavor in Indonesia. The most interesting question was there any difference in Indonesia restaurant in Taiwan than in Indonesia? She replied that although they did have Indonesia cuisine, the taste was still far from her homeland. To be honest, I've ever been to Indonesia restaurant, but I'm willing to have a try. Moreover, I plan to learn Indonesian language in my sophomore due to their prosperity in recent years. Hope one day I can visit Indonesia and experience their delicious food and wonderful culture.
In Taiwan, we also use many kinds of spicy and condiments when cooking. It's similar with Indonesia cuisine. The different part is the taste. They have heavy taste. Actually, I think that Taiwanese food often has a lot of salt due to the environment and culture. Instead, I love the light one, like Japanese food. This interview goes well. Thanks my members help and do together.
Our interview is about food culture in Indonesia. Indah, our interviewee, is very knowledgeable about food culture. Since our country is a big archipelago, each island and place has their own local cuisine. Even though Indah and I came from the same island, Java, our local delicacies are slightly different. That is the reason why there are still new knowledge that I could learn from this project. In interview, I had tried my best to not to speak Indonesian with Indah. We were fully communicating in English. To sum up, despite our busy schedule, this project is very interesting to do.
It's a brand new experience for me to interview a foreigner. At first, I'm really shy, but the interviewee is such a nice person. She's willing to tell us more than the question we asked, and makes the interview more easier than we expected. I learned a lot during the interview, not only the culture difference between two countries, but also the way how we interact and communicate with others. If next time I have a chance to learn more about other culture or making friends with foreigner, I definitely will go for it.